Good afternoon. What a great day. I first met Sheriff Bill Brown over a decade ago. I, at the time, was a deputy district attorney prosecuting sexual assault crimes, and he was the police chief for Lompoc. We attended a quarterly sexual assault response team meeting, only he was the only chief that showed up. He showed up because he cared. He cared about crime victims, he cared about public safety, and he cared about the officers who were working to investigate these incredible crimes. And I listened to him at these meetings, and he knew those cases, he knew those crime victims, he worked with those officers. And so I was a little bit in awe of someone. How could you possibly run an agency and still have that sense of depth, of caring that he had? And so when he asked me to endorse him when he first ran for sheriff, I did, because he showed up then and he continued to show up. What thrilled me was the fantastic job he has done as sheriff of Santa Barbara County. He is there for crime victims. He has made a difference in public safety. Violent crime is down. I support him now in his re-election, and although I'd like to go on for another 10 minutes, all of these people also want to say wonderful things about our Sheriff Bill Brown, but I will have an opportunity to introduce him in just a few minutes. Thank you all for coming. And the first person I'll be introducing is Ken Shumwell.
Good afternoon. I might go on for 20 minutes. I was a member of the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department for over 33 and a half years. I work under 5 elected sheriffs, and in that capacity, I worked for 3 of them as an executive. I held every rank on the department and worked my way up to undersheriff. The only rank I did not hold was sheriff. After winning the 2006 election, Bill Brown took office in January 2007. He was an experienced and tested leader. He had municipal experience and command level experience at the Moscow, Idaho Police Department as chief, as well as Englewood Police Department as a command level officer, and of course, the city of Lompoc as 7 years chief in this county. He's also been the past president of the California Chiefs Association. What that means is all the police chiefs in the state of California thought Bill was the finest person to represent and lead them in the state of California. Bill Brown is a man of integrity. He always does the right thing, and here's my favorite example. Undersheriffs are at will. They serve at the pleasure of the sheriff. It is customary for a new sheriff to come into office and select his own undersheriff. Bill had a lot of people to select from. He knew a lot of chiefs of police. He is very, very well connected to law enforcement professionals throughout the state. Bill did something really strange. Although I had actively supported his opponent in the election, Bill Brown kept me as his undersheriff. This is something that I've never seen throughout the whole state of California. He put his trust in me, and we became a team. Now, Bill retained me for a couple of reasons. One was to heal the wounds after a very contentious campaign. And I think the other reason, although he's never told me this, is he wanted to heal the wounds and also rely on my institutional knowledge, because I did pay attention somewhat along the way of my long career. Well, it turned out to be a great marriage, and I use that term because Bill and I were joined at the hip. In fact, I saw Bill more than his wife Donna saw Bill. Bill had a thirst for knowledge and wanted to know anything and everything about the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department. He almost killed me his first 100 days in office. Everything that came out of his mouth started with how, when, why, and what. And Bill, he described that as, I'm drinking from a fire hose. Now, not everybody can handle that, because Bill is a human sponge, and he absorbed everything that I told him, and his command staff and executive staff told him about the department. He's probably the most knowledgeable person about the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department to this day. Again, I'm just amazed that he caught on so quickly, and I still communicate with Bill on a frequent basis and am amazed on how much he knows about the department. Bill was also a founding member of the Santa Barbara Prison Reentry Project. This is a program designed to keep people from reoffending going back to jail. This project had significant recidivism reduction results, and Bill was on the ground floor of that. Bill is a forward thinker. One of the first things he did when he entered office was put together the Blue Ribbon Commission on Jail Overcrowding. And I could talk about all day about that, but what that really did is tell what the systemic problems were in our criminal justice system, and we needed a new jail. And Bill was certainly convinced about that. Bill is a creative individual. Bill led the department through some very troubled times during the recession. He made very complicated and complex decisions on how to deliver services to the citizens of Santa Barbara. When all was said and done, even with record cuts to the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, when you called 911, a black and white would be on the way. Being sheriff is not easy. Unless you worked in the office, there's no way to understand the pressures and the complexity of that job. There's a few sheriffs here, I'm sure they're nodding their head right now, because they will agree with that. Please join me with supporting Bill Brown as our next sheriff and re-electing him for another term. My good friend and colleague, Bill Brown. And at this time, I'd like to introduce long-term Sheriff Jim Thomas.
Thanks, Kenny. It's nice to be here, and it's also very nice not to be having to do this much anymore. But let me start by saying that I respect everybody's right to run for elected office. But in a political campaign, it's really easy to criticize and make promises. I think probably the only way that you can know what it takes to be the Santa Barbara County Sheriff is to have been the Santa Barbara County Sheriff. And with that unique perspective, I know that it takes preparation, education, and experience to succeed. This campaign will explore the differences between the two announced candidates, but let me give you a preview of the candidate who is here with us today, Sheriff Bill Brown. Bill has been in law enforcement for 36 years. He has 22 years experience as a police chief and sheriff. Those are the chief executive officers of our profession. He is a graduate of the FBI's National Academy and Executive Institute. As Ken said, he was honored to be the president of the 1,400-member California Police Chiefs Association, and he currently sits on the board, the executive board of the California State Sheriff's Association. Sheriff Brown made every effort to prepare himself early in his career by testing and achieving ranks in supervision, management, command, and senior executive positions, while simultaneously he achieved a bachelor's degree in management and a master's degree in public administration from USC. Sheriff Brown is supported by the current and previous district attorney, as well as 67 current and former California sheriffs and dozens of California police chiefs, all executive officers of their departments. Many of them are here today. Others will also speak of his achievements and unique qualifications, but there's one achievement that I would like to single out. Over the past 30 years, 3 previous Santa Barbara County sheriffs, myself included, have tried to build a seriously needed North County jail. Bill made a promise when he first campaigned that he would do that, and he has kept that promise. In addition to competing for state funds and the additional approval of the Board of Supervisors, not always an easy task, I might add.
Got to consider the sheriff.
He additionally secured the funding to start the groundbreaking of a groundbreaking transition and reentry program. In this campaign, if you want to talk about preparation, education, and experience, you will find that Sheriff Bill Brown, by far, is the best qualified candidate for the office of sheriff. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce former 5th District Supervisor and Chief of Police of the City of Santa Maria, Joe Centeno.
Thank you very much. You know, I drove here from my beautiful city of Santa Maria, which is 75 miles north of here. And it took some courage to do that, because when I was a member of the Board of Supervisors, I was down here all the time. But I did it because I wanted to express publicly my profound support for this great, great man and great, great Sheriff Bill Brown. And it's a pleasure for me to be here to support him. You know, one of the things, and maybe two of the things, that I think are most important to our sheriff, and that is the protection of the great citizens of Santa Barbara County and the people who might want to come here and visit. And he does a marvelous job protecting them. The other is putting the bad guys in jail, because that's where they belong. Speaking of jails, I was mentioned here earlier, this man has been at the forefront of getting the resources put together and the property, the site for North County Jail, which is extremely important to this gentleman,
Thank
the
you very
Chief
much.
of Police in Santa Maria.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And the city of Guadalupe. It's extremely important. And then when you consider the benefit to the entire community, you're looking at a project that allegedly is going to cost us about $140 million. 120 of that will be paid by the state of California. And when you consider what it's going to take to build it, we're talking about carpenters, we're talking about plumbers, electricians, cement finishers, the litany of different contractors that are going to be there to put this thing together. And the expendable income those people will have to benefit the communities that they're in. Great, great thing that this man has done. And he's been, and if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have that. Now, what I would like to say to you folks, all you folks, is to send a message to this man that we need him on the job, he's going to stay on the job, and he's not retiring anytime soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, and thank you especially for calling me a young man. I appreciate that. I am here today to support the Sheriff Bill Brown in his re-election bid. The job of the sheriff is complex and certainly unique in law enforcement. As the county's top cop, he is required to provide frontline police services for the unincorporated area, contract cities, provide securities in all of our courtrooms, and oversee the county jail. Any one of these tasks alone is difficult. To handle all of them takes a truly dedicated leader. With the state of California forcing the counties to take the role of housing more prisoners, Sheriff Brown faces a daunting task of balancing the housing issue while maintaining and keeping the local prisoner population for our local law enforcement agencies. Recently, the sheriff reopened the Santa Maria North County Jail. This alone has saved the northern law enforcement agencies valuable time by not having to transport individual prisoners to the main jail, leaving our local police officers with more time in our neighborhoods and in our schools. Sheriff Brown has a proven track record while leading our county law enforcement committee each month, as he leads that when we have our meetings in Buellton. I look forward to working with him in the future and continuing to resolve our mutual issues throughout Santa Barbara County. So Bill, congratulations and best of luck to you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Lompoc City Councilman Bob Lingle.
Good afternoon. It's an honor and a pleasure, privilege to be here to help launch the re-election campaign of our sheriff, Bill Brown. I've been given 90 seconds to recap the incredible accomplishments of Bill while he was the Lompoc Police Department chief. It's impossible to recap his accomplishments in 90 seconds, but I'm going to give it a shot. Bill established the first police academy, first police safety academy. Bill established the first police safety academy, and he established the first crime prevention weekly television program, Lompoc Police Beat. He established the Lompoc Police Activities League for at-risk youth. He brought the crime prevention program, National Night Out, to Lompoc. He established the Junior Police Academy. He expanded our already SWAT team. He expanded it and professionalized our SWAT team. He established the first domestic violence position for the Lompoc Police Department. As with many other cities, when Bill came to Lompoc, our firefighters, our police officers didn't always get along. They tried to one-up each other. With Bill's help and the fire chief at the time, Bill brought together the two departments with one goal. That was crime prevention, public safety. That lasts through Bill's term and through two other police chiefs. Bill's dedication to bringing the two groups together has established public safety to the utmost. Under Bill's leadership, crime rates have dropped, not only in Santa Barbara County, but for me personally, I'm very grateful. Under his leadership, they dropped in the city of Lompoc. They continue today because of some of the programs that Bill put in place. You notice the programs that I listed, many of them were for youth. You stop crime with the youth. I'm not telling anyone anything new. You stop crime at the youth, young level, you can stop it in the future. Bill's program still exists today. So it's my pleasure to support Bill for his re-election campaign for sheriff. Before I leave, one other thing I want to quick mention. I didn't have it in my notes, but I have 5 seconds left. Not only did Bill help fight crime, bring crime rates down in Lompoc, he always did it on budget, most of the times under budget. He's a fiscal conservative, but he gets the job done. And I want to thank him for that for the city of Lompoc. It's now my pleasure to introduce Supervisor Salute Carbajal.
You know, I want to point out the diverse crowd that's behind me. Bill's not running as a Republican or a Democrat. He's running as a sheriff that unites our entire county. And I think if you look at Bill Brown's tenure on the Board of Supervisors, you see that he's a consummate advocate for his department, but he's also a diplomat, and he works with the Board of Supervisors in difficult times to also be a team player and to take his share of the cuts, as we have had to do over a very, very difficult economy over the past 4 or 5 years. Bill Brown is a team player. He's exhibited extraordinary leadership, as you have heard from so many of the previous speakers, be it from the reentry programs that we've implemented, the jail. Many sheriffs have worked on that project and have brought it forward an inch as much as possible. And Bill Brown was in a position to try to take that to a whole new level. And I think when you look at how far we've come with the jail, the North County Jail, you understand the type of leadership that Bill Brown has exhibited and possesses. It is a real honor for me to support Bill Brown because he is an extraordinary sheriff and an extraordinary leader. And I'm very proud to stand here side by side with previous sheriffs, friends of mine, and everybody else here, elected officials and community members, to support Bill Brown's re-election. I'm going to ask for the contract city leaders, Mayor of Carpinteria, Brad Stein, Mayor Jim Richardson, And Mayor Roger Aceves, if you could come forward.
Can't get through the suits. Sorry. There you go.
Another great mayor from the 1st District, if I may say.
And the best 1st District supervisor I've ever had. There you go. I have to tell you, coming up from Carpinteria, I had the pleasure, I've been on the city council since 1990, and we were one of the first, if not the first, city to contract with the Sheriff's Department. And I had the honor for Sheriff Thomas, Ken Shimley, and now Sheriff Brown. And Carpinteria at the time was looked down upon. Why would you get rid of your own law enforcement and go to the Sheriff's Department? And it was not well accepted in the beginning with the citizenry of Carpinteria, but the Sheriff's Department has proven their value over and over and over. And in the last 4 years, like Supervisor Carbajal mentioned, in the down economy, we had to face cutting a couple of positions, which we've been able to reestablish now, but we never lacked service, and that was Sheriff Brown's guarantee. We'll find a way to make it work, and he did. He kept to his word. I met Bill Brown 8 years ago at the Avocado Festival. He didn't know who I was. No, most people don't. You come to Carpinteria, who's the mayor? Nobody knows, which is good. I like that. And we were just talking on the street. We talked probably half an hour. He didn't know who I was, and he told me he was running. And I asked him a lot of questions. And I'm proud to say I was the only council member that supported you at that time for your election, because I saw the integrity that you had and how you would lead. I'm not paid as mayor, so I took the day off of work today, not getting paid, but when Bill Brown called me about a month ago and asked if I would come and speak, I kind of looked at, oh, that's a work day for me, but I didn't think twice about it. I love his leadership. He's treated our community better than I could ever imagine, and I couldn't think of another sheriff I'd rather have running our community. So, Sheriff Brown, good luck. I'm sure you won't have to talk. And now I know where all the suits and ties are here. We can go get a tie. That's right.
I'm Jim Richardson. I'm the mayor of Solvang, and we're a contract city with the sheriff's office. And I want to say that without a doubt, the proven leadership of this man is evidenced within the city of Solvang and the St. Ynez Valley. He has provided us with excellent police chiefs, excellent community service officers, and excellent patrol deputies. We were really satisfied with the kind of work that Bill Brown has done. And I've seen this man in action in front of the Board of Supervisors. I've seen him in action in other arenas where he's touted the North County Jail. And I'm proud to say this man has accomplished what he said he was going to do. And with the budgets that's been happening to him, thanks to these guys. That's a joke. But I'm very proud to be here to endorse Sheriff Bill Brown, and I would hope that that you all support the man also. Thank you, Bill. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Councilman and former Mayor of the City of Goleta, Roger Aceves.
Hello, everyone. Many of you remember that I spent over 30 years in law enforcement. And the one thing I learned was that whenever you go into something, make sure you have great backup. Well, Bill, look behind me. You have great backup. But more importantly, you have the greatest backup available in your wife, and Donna Brown.
Absolutely.
You know, the wives are always the ones that the unsung heroes. My wife Debbie's back in the audience here. You know, but we always have to recognize that after the day is done, we come back to the family that loves us. You know, for the 30 years that I've been on the job, I've seen firsthand the dedicated work the men and women do at the San Barbara County Sheriff's Department every day. They're professional, they respond, and they've certainly helped the city of Goleta in keeping our crime rate down. We've been recognized last November as one of the 50 safest cities in the state. Actually, we ranked number 22. But that was because of one man, a great leader, Bill Brown. To show you how dedicated this man is, during the last fiesta, he got off his horse to make an arrest. So he realizes the job is not done. He's out there keeping our community safe every day, 24/7. So with that, I am very proud to endorse your re-election to be Santa Barbara County Sheriff. I got so excited, I forgot my next role. It is my honor now to introduce the Honorable Mayor of the City of Santa Barbara, Elaine Schneider.
Thank you, Roger. Well, good afternoon, and it's a distinct honor for me to re-endorse Sheriff Bill Brown to continue to be our sheriff for the whole of Santa Barbara County. And I have two major points. The first is, when you think about it, it's easy to criticize. It's easy to point out the problems. And there are many challenges that the sheriff has faced over the last 8 years in dealing with law enforcement and structure and opportunities available. But it's harder to find a path towards a solution and to persevere and make that solution occur. And it takes leadership and tenacity to do that. And I've seen firsthand, as we all have throughout the county of Santa Barbara, the tenacity and the leadership of our Sheriff Bill Brown, and want to thank him for keeping us safer and for doing what's necessary, even in spite of tough economic times as we've seen these last few years, to do what it takes to get the job done. So I appreciate that very much. And the second point is, even though the city of Santa Barbara has its own police department, public safety doesn't necessarily have jurisdictional boundaries. It takes partnership. It takes leadership from a multitude of agencies, and it takes a willingness and trust of different agencies to come together and work together and to make whatever needs to happen on a regional basis happen. And I'm very proud that the City of Santa Barbara and our Sheriff's Department has a very strong partnership, long-time communication, and will hopefully continue to do that under the leadership of Sheriff Bill Brown. So thank you, and I'm really looking forward to your next 4 years in office. Speaking of jurisdictional cooperation, I'd like to bring up San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Ian Parkinson and Ventura County Sheriff Jeff Dean.
You know, there's some disadvantages of being one of the last speakers, of course, because all of your material is used, and I was actually sitting there thinking, if I knock over somebody trying to get up here, this is going to be embarrassing. My name is Ian Parkinson. I'm the Sheriff Coroner of San Luis Obispo County. I'm pleased to be here to support Bill and Donna, as it was pointed out earlier. I've known Bill as well for about a decade now. Bill was the Chief of Police in Lompoc. When I first met him, I was teaching a leadership class, a 5-month leadership class, and we asked Bill to come to sit on the leadership panel. And after the first time Bill was there, we decided that he was somebody that we wanted to return year after year because of the wisdom that he passed on to the students in the class, and really because of his openness, which really was terrific. After that time, I got to know Bill as the sheriff and then as my partner in San Luis Obispo County. And there's been a lot of mention about the jail being built, and we're in the process of building a jail as well, but people don't always realize the impacts of what happens in Santa Barbara County to the neighboring counties, and such as ours. And so when you talk about the city of Santa Maria and our southern border, it's really important that Bill took the steps to open the North County Jail. It was a tremendous help to us. Bill sits on the leadership board of California State Sheriff's Association. This is a very important leadership role for state sheriffs. He represents 58 sheriffs up in Sacramento, and it's something that they have made great strides with the current governor and will continue to make those strides. Currently, Bill is the treasurer And in 2017, he will then be the president, which, as I understand it, will make him the first California State Sheriff's Association president and California Police Officers Association, or Police Chiefs, excuse me, president ever. So that is an amazing feat, and we're looking forward to many years of repeat with Bill, a great partnership between San Luis Obispo County and Santa Barbara counties. And by the way, I only got 60 seconds to speak. So you and I are going to have to talk a little later. I'd like to introduce Sheriff Jeff Dean from Ventura.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. The esteemed mayor from Santa Barbara made a perfect point when she said that criminals don't observe geographical boundaries. And the ability to have a partner to the north, I have LA to the south, which is another whole story to itself. But to pick up the phone and be able to call Bill, and the interaction between our two agencies is paramount to the safety of our communities, because it just travels back and forth on a daily basis. Ian and I, Sheriff Parkinson, are in our first term. We got elected. Bill reached out to us right away to provide leadership, called us together here in Santa Barbara. We met, we had lunch, we discussed issues in common. He was willing to maintain as the leader of the Tri-County Mutual Aid, which involves interaction with the state for mutual aid for major disasters. He's provided the necessary leadership. And as the past Sheriff Thomas said, it's not an easy job. And ladies and gentlemen, when people go to vote this time, they would be so foolish to stop the course that this track is on, because it's so successful the way it's going. Now, you've heard about the North County Jail. I'm all for your North County Jail. The problem is I continue to compete for those same state funds, and I've got 0 so far, and he's building the new jail. But he's a great partner and a great leader, and Santa Barbara's lucky to have him, and I'm thrilled to be able to endorse him.
So it is my deepest honor to finally take just one moment to finally introduce our Sheriff, Bill Brown. What are his extraordinary qualifications? In summary, more than 3 decades of law enforcement, line supervisory, and management, command, and executive experience. A master's degree from USC in public administration. He's graduated from some of the top law enforcement executive schools in the nation. 7 years of exemplary service as our sheriff. Fantastic, and I repeat that word, fantastic, working relationship with the district attorney's office and all Santa Barbara County law enforcement criminal justice community. He is my dear friend. He's doing a hell of a job, and he is the only qualified candidate for this position. Go get it.
You got 2 minutes.
If you didn't hear that, he just said you have 2 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank our terrific district attorney, Joyce Dudley, for those warm words, and my other friends and colleagues for those incredible introductions. And I just want to know, what would you guys charge if I could get you all to come with me on the rest of the campaign trail and introduce me like that every time? Let me begin my comments today with this message to all of the people of Santa Barbara County. I am Sheriff Bill Brown. I am proud to be your sheriff, and I am running for re-election on June 3rd, 2014. I'm excited about this campaign, and I am humbled and I am honored by the tremendous outpouring of support that I have already received. People have been overwhelmingly positive, generous, and solid in their support, and I can't tell you how much it means to me to look back and see the faces that I see here. Dear friends, dear colleagues, people who mean an incredible amount to me. My biggest supporters have been my family members and my beautiful wife of almost 34 years, Donna. And I'm also going to mention very proudly my 3 wonderful children who have been there for their support as well. Without my family's love and understanding, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I thank God for blessing me with such a wonderful family. I also want to thank and acknowledge my friends and colleagues who spoke here today, and all of you who have taken time off from your day to be with me to help kick off this campaign. I also especially want to point out and thank 4 different organizations who have thrown their early support to me and given me their endorsement. First of all, the California Police Chiefs Association. And I received that endorsement after being nominated by the police chiefs of Santa Barbara County. And I'm grateful for that. The electrical workers, Local 413, and the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters have stepped up with their support. And I am especially proud of the support, the early endorsement that I received from the Deputy District Attorneys Association of Santa Barbara County. These are people who work every day to prosecute criminals who I work very closely with and my people work very closely with, and I'm very, very proud of that early endorsement. And of course, I want to acknowledge and thank my extraordinary staff and former members of my agency, many of whom have traveled here on their own time to stand with me today. And I was going to try to point to them, but they are scattered throughout this crowd here. I am so deeply appreciative of them being here. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office is one of the proudest and most respected law enforcement agencies in the nation. And that's because of the caliber of the men and women who have served in it and who continue to serve in it. I'm honored to lead this outstanding organization and the men and women who comprise it. Warren Bennis once said that leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. And I've tried hard to do that. You've heard from the generous comments of those who spoke ahead of me today about some of the accomplishments since being elected in 2006. And I'm very proud of those achievements, but I want to make it abundantly clear that any successes that I have had simply wouldn't have occurred without the dedication, the enthusiasm, the hard work, the help, and the support of other people. And at the top of that list are the members of my staff at the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. I am privileged to lead, but what we do is a team effort. And again and again and again, this team delivers. I have a passion for public safety. It's really a calling for me. Ever since I was in high school, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to become a law enforcement officer, and I wanted to protect and serve other people. My parents instilled in me core values that I hold dear to this day, and they're the same core values that we have in the Sheriff's Office. Integrity, courage, caring, fairness, and service to others. Over the years, I've worked hard to always do the right thing, and I've never regretted my career choice. I still look forward to coming to work each and every day. Serving as your sheriff is an extraordinary privilege. I'm responsible for protecting and serving everyone in Santa Barbara County, whether they be from the north or the south, whether they are residents or visitors. I am everybody's sheriff in Santa Barbara County. You can see that here today, and I am very proud of that fact. Despite our county's worst and most protracted financial downturn, we've worked together to make steady progress. During this time, many sheriff's offices throughout our state saw massive layoffs. But my team and our county and our employees and I worked together to find ways to make it through those tough times so that almost all of our required cuts came through attrition. And during those tough times, we've kept crime rates low, almost the lowest in 3 decades. In fact, in 2012, the last year that we have current numbers available, in 2012, the Part 1 crime rate in the areas served by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office was 41% lower than it was 30 years previously in 1984. That's taken a lot of hard work, and we've done a lot of things. We're doing a better job fighting the scourges of gangs and illegal drugs that traffic into our community. We're faced with challenges all the time. But tough times demand a leader who will lead. They demand a leader who often has to make choices between bad and worse. Tough times call for thinking outside the box and for questioning the way we've always done things. During tough times, it's more important than ever to partner up and collaborate with others. And I believe strongly in that, and I think that we do that better here in Santa Barbara County than virtually anywhere else. Despite these tough times, we continue to keep ourselves, the people of this county, and their property safe. Safe from crime, from the fear of crime, from neighborhood decay, and we did it while helping maintain the quality of life that we enjoy here in Santa Barbara County. That's the essence of community policing, and that's what we do each and every day. We still have unfinished business, and that's why I'm seeking a third term as your sheriff. There are 4 areas that will be a central focus of my attention and efforts during the next term. They are, first and foremost, continuing to keep deputies on our streets and custody deputies in our jails so that we can preserve public safety in Santa Barbara County. Secondly, completing the design and construction of that long-awaited Northern Branch Jail and opening that new facility no later than the summer of 2018. This is a massive undertaking, the largest public works project in the history of the county of Santa Barbara. And it will create hundreds of jobs, and it will infuse millions of dollars into our county at a time when both are desperately needed. Third, we must continue working with others in our criminal justice system and in our community to put greater emphasis on rehabilitation, on recovery, and on reentry into the community. I'm a tough sheriff when it comes to crime, but I also believe in second chances. We can't turn every criminal around, but we've seen what can happen when we work together to provide offenders with the tools and the means to change their behavior and to take back their lives. When that happens, we all win. And last, but by no means least, we need to restore some of the 64 Sheriff's Office positions lost during the last 6 years. Our ability to provide the broad range of services for which we're responsible has been severely strained. We are starting to see some positive local effects in the economy here in our county, and we are on the road to recovery from the recession. Our Human Resources Division is working especially hard to attract, hire, and retain the best and the brightest people we can. But we don't just need to fill current vacancies. We need to start gradually adding back some of the positions that were cut as a result of the budget crisis. To that end, I look forward to working with the Board of Supervisors to restore some of our positions and ensure that public safety truly is the top priority of government. That then is my vision for the future, and it is backed up by what I have done in the past. Let me conclude today by again thanking those of you who are here for coming and showing your marvelous support. Thank you for your trust, for your loyalty, for your confidence in me. For the rest of the people in Santa Barbara County, I ask you to join me. I ask for your prayers, I ask for your support, and I ask for your vote on Election Day, June 3rd, 2014, so that I can continue to lead your Sheriff's Office into the future. Thank you, Santa Barbara County, and God bless you.